In the annals of war, many battles are fought for land or for gold. A rare few are fought for something more. They are fought for an idea. In 480 BC, the largest army the world had ever seen.
Their numbers were so vast, their archers so many.
Their arrows will blot out the sun.
A Spartan soldier simply replied, "Good."
Then we will fight in the shade.
This was Thermopylae, the place where a handful of warriors stood against an empire. But this story begins not with the 300, but with the one. The man whose ambition was so great, he sought to conquer the entire world. His name was Xerxes, great king of Persia.
And he had a personal vendetta to settle.
Ten years before, his father, Darius, had tried to conquer Greece. He was defeated at Marathon by the Athenians.
The shame of this defeat haunted Darius to his grave. He made his son Xerxes swear an oath.
That he would finish the job. That he would burn Athens to the ground. Xerxes would not fail. He would not just send an army. He would summon the entire world.
For 4 years, he gathered his strength from every corner of his vast empire.
Libyans, Ethiopians, Indians, Scythians. 46 nations.
Ancient historians like Herodotus claimed his army numbered over 2 million men.
Modern historians are skeptical, but even the most conservative estimates
2 million is an exaggeration.
place the invasion force at over 300,000, the largest army the world had ever seen.
But this army faced an obstacle: the sea, the Hellespont Strait.
His engineers built a bridge of boats, but a storm shattered it. Xerxes' ambition
Turned to madness. He was not just a king. He believed he was a god. He ordered the sea itself to be punished. His soldiers whipped the water 300 times.
And he ordered a new bridge built, a marvel of engineering, a road across the sea.
For 7 days and 7 nights, his army poured across the bridge.
It is said, Xerxes wept at the sight. I am filled with pity, for in 100 years, not one of these men will be alive.
The pity passed. The march continued. The invasion of Europe had begun.
Heralds were sent ahead to every Greek city, demanding a symbolic tribute.
A box of earth and a jar of water, a sign of total submission to the Persian king.
One by one, the northern cities submitted. Thebes, Thessaly. It seemed all of Greece would bend the knee.
But not Athens. The Athenians threw the heralds from a cliff.
And not Sparta.
The God-King Xerxes demands your earth and water.
The Spartan king, Leonidas, pointed to a deep, dark well.
You want our earth and water, he said.
The line was drawn. But who were these men, who would defy the world's largest empire with a single, brutal sentence?
They were Spartans, and they were unlike any people the world had ever known.
The city of Sparta had no walls. It did not need them.
The Spartans claimed they were the wall.
They were kept barefoot, underfed, and trained to endure all pain, all cold, all hunger.
The legend tells of one boy who stole a fox. To hide it, he let the animal claw him.
The women were trained too. They were taught to be strong, literate, and utterly ruthless. The goal was to create loyalty not to family, but to the state. A Spartan mother, handing her son his shield, would say the most famous words.
Return with this shield.
Victory, or a glorious death. There was no other option. Surrender was unthinkable. This brutal system was ruled by 2 kings and a council of elders.
And in 480 BC, the most Spartan of all Spartans was King Leonidas.
He was not just a king. He was a soldier, forged in the same fire as all his men.
The Athenian general, Themistocles, proposed a plan. A desperate gamble.
The Persian army and navy moved together. The army needed the navy for supplies.
He argued the Greeks must block both, simultaneously.
The Athenian navy would hold the sea at Artemisium.
The Hot Gates. It was a bottleneck, a tiny corridor where 300,000 men would be forced to fight a mere handful. It was the perfect defensive position.
The plan was desperate. It needed the best soldiers on earth. It needed the Spartans.
Leonidas agreed. But when he returned to Sparta to gather his armor, he was stopped.
It was the time of the Carneia, a sacred religious festival. War was forbidden.
The superstitious elders forbade the army to march until the full moon had passed. By then, there will be no Greece left to defend.
The law was absolute. The full moon of the Carneia festival must pass. The army was forbidden to march.
The army is forbidden. But the law does not forbid the king from marching.
With his personal bodyguard, his 300 hippies.
The elders were silent. It was a loophole they could not close.
Do you have a son?
Yes, you will come.
But Leonidas had one secret, grim condition for his selection.
He did not choose the youngest or the strongest. He chose only one type of man.
Those who had a living son, old enough to carry on their name. Leonidas knew. This was not a mission of victory. It was a mission of sacrifice. Before he left, Leonidas had journeyed in secret to the oracle at Delphi.
He had asked the oracle how Sparta could be saved. Her prophecy was one of terrible, perfect clarity. Hear your fate, O men of Sparta. Either your great and glorious city
Must be ravaged by the Persian foe,
king, born of Heracles' line, must be mourned dead.
The choice was made. The city would be ravaged, or a Spartan king must die.
Leonidas, descended from Heracles, knew exactly what he had to do.
What are your orders for me?
He looked at her, the Spartan queen. Marry a good man, and bear him strong children.
And so, he marched. Not with an army, but with 300 men, going to their deaths.
Leonidas looked at the thousands of allied troops.
When the rest of the army arrives, these other Greeks will realize they have sent more men than we.
Along the way, 700 men from Thespiae joined them. They knew the Persians would burn their city first. 400 Thebans also came, though Leonidas suspected they were there more as hostages than as allies. In all, a force of 7,000 Greeks gathered to face the tide. They arrived at the pass, Thermopylae, the hot gates, named for its sulfur springs. It was the perfect choke point. He saw a low, ruined wall built by the local Phocians.
We will rebuild this. This is where we will stand. This is where we will die.
And then, they came.
The arm of Xerxes. A river of men, horses and elephants so vast it drank rivers dry.
The 7,000 Greeks looked on from their tiny wall. The sight was terrifying.
Xerxes himself rode forward. He saw the tiny band of men. He laughed. This was an insult.
He sent a scout. The scout returned, baffled.
They are not preparing for battle, my king. The scout said, they are combing their hair. Believing they would flee, Xerxes waited. For 4 whole days, he did nothing. The Greeks did not move.
The God-King orders you to lay down your arms!
My king's patience is gone.
Leonidas looked down from the wall and gave the most famous reply in the history of war.
What does this mean? Come and take them!
The first wave of the Persian army charged. 10,000 Medes sent to die.
The Greeks formed the wall, the phalanx, a single, solid beast of bronze and wood.
The Medes crashed into the wall. It was not a battle. It was slaughter.
Their wicker shields shattered. Their short spears could not reach. Their linen armor offered no protection. The phalanx was a killing machine. The men in front stabbed with their spears, while the men behind pushed them forward. When a spear broke, they drew their short swords, the xiphos, and went to work in the gaps.
The wave broke. The Medes fled, climbing over their own dead. Xerxes was furious.
Send the immortals!
He sent his best. The second wave. The 10,000 immortals.
His personal bodyguard. The elite of the elite. They had never known defeat. They hit the Spartan wall!
And they died. Their spears were shorter.
Their courage was no match for the bronze wall.
The Spartans were not just brutes. They were tacticians. Leonidas ordered a feigned retreat.
The Immortals, tasting victory, broke formation and charged, disorganized, into the pass.
Leonidas roared. The trap was sprung. The Spartans turned. The wall reformed.
And the disorganized Persians were impaled, hundreds at a time.
Herodotus says Xerxes leapt from his throne 3 times that day, in terror for his army.
Day 1 ended. The pass was held. The flower of the Persian army lay dead at the feet of 300 Spartans and their allies. Day 2. Xerxes was a man possessed. He threw wave after wave of his army at the pass. The result was the same. The Greeks rotated, stayed fresh. The phalanx was unbreakable. The Persian morale was shattered. Their officers had to whip them from behind to force them into the meat grinder.
Leonidas was winning. The impossible was happening. The invasion was stalled.
Night fell on the second day. Xerxes was in despair. His vast army was useless. His invasion was failing.
Until a man was brought to his tent.
A local Greek. A man named Ephialtes.
He saw the king's desperation, and he saw an opportunity for gold. O great king, these Spartans are not gods. They can be beaten.
He pointed, not at the pass, but at the sheer mountain cliffs above it.
There is a path, Ephialtes said. A goat track. It goes around the mountain.
And it comes out behind them.
Xerxes understood. He could surround them.
He offered Ephialtes a mounting of gold and summoned his immortals.
Hydarnes, take the Immortals!
In the dead of night, led by a Greek traitor, the Immortals began their march.
The trap was set. The fate of the 300 was sealed, not by an army, but by a single, greedy man. Dawn. Day 3. A cold mist hung over the pass. Leonidas felt it. The air was wrong.
Did you hear that?
Probably just a mountain goat.
Narration. A brief volley of arrows. The Phocians panicked. Thinking it was the main attack, they abandoned the path and fled.
The Immortals didn't pursue. They just kept marching. Down the mountain. Behind the Greek line.
Họ ở phía sau. Con đường đã bị chiếm. Ngài đã bị bao vây.
Leonidas, calm in the face of doom, gave his final order. He knew the prophecy.
Go, he told the allied Greeks. Take your men away. Live to fight another day.
But the 700 Thespians did not move. Their commander, Thermopylae, looked at Leonidas. The 400 Thebans also remained, but as prisoners. Leonidas did not trust that they would not betray them. And the 300 Spartans. They stood, silent, adjusting their shields. They never had a choice to leave.
A Spartan turned to his king, a grim smile on his face. Men, eat a good breakfast.
We will dine in hell. The time for defense was over. He pointed his spear not at the pass, but at the Persian camp itself.
For Sparta! Yes! We are one!
1,000 men charged 250,000. It was magnificent. It was madness.
They crashed into the shocked Persian lines, a cyclone of bronze and rage. Their goal was singular, to kill as many as they could, and to find Xerxes himself.
But then, from behind, the Immortals' army arrived. They were at the rear. The trap had closed.
A Persian spear, throw from the crush, found its mark. It struck Leonidas.
The king fell. The prophecy was fulfilled.
A roar of pure, inhuman rage rose from the remaining Spartans. Their king was down. A new, terrible battle began. Not for the pass, but for the body of Leonidas.
4 times the Persians charged to take the body. 4 times the Spartans, weeping with rage, beat them back.
This was the last stand. The last Spartans. The last Thespians.
They fought with their swords. When their swords broke, they fought with their hands, their teeth, and the rocks.
Xerxes, horrified by the cost, ordered his infantry back. He could not lose any more men to these madmen.
He raised his hand, and he ordered his archers.
The sky turned black.
The final prophecy was fulfilled. Chúng ta sẽ chiến đấu trong bóng râm. The prophet was fulfilled. The Spartans would fight in the shade.
The arrows rained down. A storm of black shafts.
One by one, the last heroes fell, until the hill was silent.
Xerxes walked the pass. He had won.
In a petty rage, he found Leonidas's body. He had it beheaded and crucified. A king's dishonor.
But the act showed his fear. The story of the 300 spread like fire.
Leonidas had lost the battle, but he had won the war.
This city will be evacuated.
The next year, at Plataea, the full Spartan army led a united Greece and crushed the Persian invaders for good.
Xerxes, broken, fled back to Asia. Greece was free.
Years later, a simple stone was placed on that hill. It bears the most powerful epitaph ever written. Go tell the Spartans, stranger passing by, that here, obedient to their laws, we lie.